Further, after one has acquired the resources for the cultivation of intensifying practice of resonating attention, there are two types of skillful means for intensifying practice. What are these two? 1. With respect to the sutras and Abhidharma, one reads, recites, accepts, and conforms, corrects one's attention, causing one to be extremely skillful with the aggregates and related matters. 2. One depends on the teachings of one's teacher, that is, the great teacher, or Buddha, Upadhyaya, or secondary teacher, and Acharya, or guiding teacher. At all times one is encompassed and dependent on their teachings and instructions. Further, right intensifying practice of attention and reflection is to be known as the third skillful means. This right intensifying practice of attention and reflection is called right intensifying practice. The meaning herein, referring to the attention purified by sila or precepts, is named right intensifying practice of attention and reflection. One reflects that one's precepts are pure, hence there is no torment due to regret. Because there is no torment due to regret, consequently joy arises, etc., elaborating up to one's mind entering into right concentration. Hence, the pronouncement of this right intensifying practice of attention and reflection is named skillful means of abiding of mind. Due to such skillful means, one's mind swiftly attains abiding. At that time, due to these 5 causes and 20 features encompassing and supporting the mind, one is able to abide skillfully in the cessation of craving, the quiet, extinguished nirvana element, without regression, nor is there any fright or terror. Herein, the fright or terror refers to the doubt of where the self exists upon attaining nirvana. When one abides in this way, it is to be known as having entered into direct seeing of truth. This is known as enter into direct seeing of noble truth. Further, this meaning of direct seeing of noble truth, when elaborated, is to be known thus: the 20 features of revulsion of danger and the 20 features of abiding of mind. Beyond this, there is none other, whether surpassing or supplementing it. What is meant by distant from various obstacles after entering into direct seeing of the noble truth? It is to be known that there are, in brief, 2 types. 1. Obstacle with respect to activities, and 2. Obstacle with respect to habitat. Obstacle with respect to activities, where an enlightened disciple, as Sangha or monastic community, related matters arise because of his staying with the community, he gives up wholesome unworldly qualities, meeting the community frequently, or craves and indulges in foods and drinks obtained through alms round, or, due to straddling both respects, that is, activities and habitat, delights and seeks robes, alms bowls, etc., or, due to reading and recitation of sutras, delights in chatter, or, during nighttime, delights in and is attached to sleeping, or during daytime, delights in mixed, tainted speech and discussion in politics, crimes, worldly matters, etc. Or, with respect to activities, there are kins and relatives visiting, chatter and tease, consequently not delight in distancing such activities. This is due to the aggravating effect of long and frequent habitual association with them, or further due to delight in staying with a second person residing with lay and monastics in a non-conducive manner. These are known as obstacles in the aspect of activities. Obstacle with respect to habitat. Residing in empty vacant area where one cultivates samatha and vipassana is, in summary, named as dwelling. Dependent on samatha and vipassana, it is to be known that there are further 4 types of obstacles. 1. Nature of noncompliance with the branch of vipassana. 2. Nature of noncompliance with the branch of samatha. 3. Nature of noncompliance with mindfulness in both classes. And 4. Nature of noncompliance with habitat. Where one thinks that he is intelligent and consequently holds himself highly, does not learn from others, nor contemplates in accordance to the right Dharma, this is known as nature of noncompliance with the branch of Vipassana. Where one does not quiet one's bodily, verbal, and mental activities, is restless and volatile, frequently transgresses sila, giving rise to sorrow and regret, etc., up to not being able to skillfully attain abiding, this is to be known as nature of noncompliance with the branch of samatha. If, due to the presence of the aggravating effects of loss of mindfulness, one's mind is not guarded against various accompanying defilements such as drowsiness and restlessness, etc., this is to be known as nature of noncompliance with mindfulness in both classes of samatha and vipassana. If there is a habitual frequenting of an environment with the following 5 corresponding faults, it is to be known as nature of noncompliance with habitat. 1. There is much noise and indulgence during the day. 2. There are many mosquitoes and insects, etc., that cause much suffering on contact. 3. There is much fear and terror, and there are many disasters and epidemics of various kinds. 4. There is scarcity of amenities, and thus is not delightful. And 5. There are bad companions and no wholesome friends. Together, they are named obstacle with respect to habitat. Further, it is to be known that these 2 obstacles in total have 2 types of causes and conditions that can support distancing. 1. Much concentrated pleasure. 2. Much reflection and discernment. It is to be known that much concentrated pleasure has, in brief, 6 types. If one has obtained samadhi, but has not reached completeness, not reached mastery, one should cultivate the 3 types of skills of stilling, rousing, and equanimity, and through these much concentrated pleasure arises. If one has obtained completeness and mastery with respect to samadhi, one should cultivate the 3 types of skills of entering, abiding, and existing of concentration, and through these much concentrated pleasure arises. What is named as much reflection and discernment? Supreme wholesome wisdom is named reflection and discernment. Due to such wisdom, throughout both day and night, when there is an increase in one's wholesome dharma, one knows correctly. When there is an increase in unwholesome dharma, one knows correctly. When there is a decline in wholesome dharma, one knows correctly. When there is a decline in unwholesome dharma, one knows correctly. Further, both day and night, while traveling or not, one is routinely in contact with life's sustenance, such as robes, food, or drinks. Due to such routine contacts, unwholesome dharma increases, and wholesome dharma declines, or wholesome dharma increases, and unwholesome dharma declines. One knows them correctly. With such reflection and discernment as dependent through the skills and principles of non-attachment, one is able to dispel and distance oneself from various unwholesome dharma that have arisen. One is able to cultivate diligently the various wholesome dharma. These are the 2 aspects of 10 types of skills that are able to cause the 2 aspects of 11 types of obstacles to be severed and eradicated, and should these obstacles arise, cause one to distance from them. This is named as distancing from obstacles. Further, the fully elaborated meaning of distancing from obstacles is according to the said features. Beyond this, there is none other, whether surpassing or supplementing it. Why is it that after entering into direct seeing of the noble truth, one pays attention to and reflects on various joyful matters for the sake of attaining swift and penetrating wisdom? Where enlightened disciples, after seeing the noble truth and attaining purity, with this purity as dependent, pay attention to and reflect on the supreme fields of merit of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, giving rise to joy.